One framework that we tend to use a lot is Scrum. It's the most popular framework in the world. It allows you to incorporate this sense of feedback back into your project. So just a little bit of structure, but not too much. Okay. So what we'll do today, we've got a backlog here, which is this area here. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll tend to do some sprint planning. There's part 1 and part 2 of sprint planning. Part 1 is just a rundown of the backlog as it currently looks now from Zara the Terrible. And then part 2 is your intention of, right, okay, so what are you going to do as your teams? Pick up one of the green cards, take it to your workspaces, and 2 minutes just to figure out, right, okay, how are you going to tackle this thing? Then we have 8 minutes for a sprint, 8 minutes to do the work, and complete the objective on the green cards. Then at the end of the 8 minutes, we'll come back, pick up your creations and the cards, bring them to the island. So this is your deployment production environment. And we see what it looks like. We get some great feedback from Zara the Terrible, who tells whether it matches the expectations or if there's feedback to improve it. And then back to your workspace for a retrospective. So here where we talked about what we wanted to, what we've achieved, what we've produced. Here we're looking at how did we produce it? And is there a better way for us to improve the way that we're doing the work? It's not just what we're doing, but also how we're doing it. And then we're back around to the start again. And we'll do this 3 times. Give you a bit of exposure. Any questions? The scenario is that we're no longer at UTS, but we are in a Lego Island improvement business. The teams around each map are collaborative. You are collaborating together. Now our clients, so we have 2 clients at the moment. So we have client 1, which is, what's his real name? Alan. Ali. Yeah, watch out for evil Ali. And supervillain name over here?
Azada.
Azada. What's your supervillain name?
Azada.
Azada. So you have 2 evil supervillains at the moment. They're very new. They've had enough cash to be able to purchase the islands in the mid-Pacific and enough to pay for our time for 3 sprints in order to improve the island. Now the vision is, at the end of the 3 sprints, at the end of this fixed cost project, the island has to have a future source of income to be self-sufficient. So you all have your own teams. We have 3 customers. What we need to do now, so with the teams, can we get 1 representative from each team to cluster around your respective customer? Now the way Scrum works, we start off with a sprint planning, which is that yellow circle you can see on the left. Part 1 and part 2 to sprint planning. Part 1 is just a quick rundown from our respective customers. What have they got lined up for the next sprint? What does it look like? What's their intention behind that? Then part 2 is where, as teams, you pick up a card that you want to work on. So what do you want to work on with your teams? Now remember, your collaborative teams, not competitive teams. So how do you collaborate? Then we're going to do a sprint. So a little bit of sprint plan to start with. Then we're going to do a sprint. The sprint will last about 8 minutes. And at the end of the sprint, we'll do a sprint review, which is the little pink circle. And that's where we'll pick up your creations with the cards, take them back to your island, and then you get some really good quality feedback from your customer. Once you have your feedback, it takes around about 10-12 minutes or so. Then it's back to your workstations for a sprint retrospective. This is the blue circle. The sprint retrospective is all about how you did the work. So if the sprint review is what you did at the map, then the blue circle is a sprint retrospective in how you did the work and how would you improve it next time. And back you go around again. So that's 1 full revolution. We'll do that 3 times. So we're going to start with this Scrum framework here, where we start off with a product backlog on the left-hand side, which is the cards in front of you, up to 14 possible changes. We're going to do sprint planning next. So part 1 of sprint planning is just a rundown from the customers about what's the top 10 priorities for sprint 1. Away you go. Good enough to go? Okay, so 2 minutes, pick up the green cards that your team wants to work on. Have a bit of a discussion. Remember, this is collaborative, so collaborative teams, not competitive teams. Have a bit of discussion as to which ones you're going to pick up, and in your team, how are you going to handle that? So give you 2 minutes, away you go.
So we've picked the basic things that we think we require to survive first. One of them is power things, light, transport, there's no main.
Either it's referring to like a medicine, those supplies, or it's referring to actual ammunition. It depends what you're... This thing. Alright. Oh, okay, yeah. So like mini bunkers.
Yes, it does. It's gotta be functional. It's gotta be perfect. Wait, I just not sure. I need this. Okay, I got the king.
Or we probably should put a door in. Or we don't. No, we don't need a door.
Is there a single section?
No, it's fine. This is small.
That's going to withstand much better bombardment.
Oh, bombardment's from above, but you can't really do much about that. You have
You don't need contact.
It's still not a priority.
You know what I mean? You're going to go down higher
That'll be one turret gun. Are you building this massive mega structure or what is this?
not like super gigantic.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Large.
Any intruders left?
So there's an element of, is it actually done here, right?
Yeah.
Does it actually meet the expectation?
No.
A bit short. We're going to do another 2 more for the approach from water.
I think
that's about it.
So is it done is the first question.
No, would it be nice to do more requirement solicitation as to where the definite, vulnerability points are? Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly the scope of the project was a bit too large, but.
I'm hearing excuses. Okay.
No, but that would have been good as well.
Okay. So feedback from Zara the Terror. What would you reckon?
So it still needs to. It's not done. So we need to work a little bit more on that.
Do we have anything in that?
The top one. Those are for the next session.
The top one.
Oh, solar panels.
Yeah.
Can we make one? Yeah, okay. Cool. You want the food?
I have that.
Typical.
Make it small, we'll make them bunk beds, they have a little
Do we want to check if our villain wants to sleep near us?
So like he needs to go like before he can go to the, or do we like bring this down?
But seriously,
You have to take this down or?
Yeah, biggest little gun in the world. You can have that one. And you can just put that one there. You got a gun thing going on? That is the craziest space gun.
you told we have power range. That would be the power range. Yeah, it looks sleeker. Yeah. So we just. Okay, I will just make some.
I built the rocket tower, yeah.
So it looks like just a square box.
Okay, so what's this? Double-sided boardroom table. Which one is table? This is table. And this is chair.
Enclosure.
And how you plan the chair?
Minions.
Minions, huh? Looks professional. I like this design. Can you put these straps in the water as well?
Like on the beach.
Both of them? It's on the beach, isn't it?
The biggest learning here is that just don't hurt.
Yeah. Just put it down. Put it down.
Don't even try.
Sorry, I cannot.
Just like a gate.
Oh yeah, go Laura. Three parts. How high do you want it? Is it high enough? Is that high enough? Oh, sorry, 4.
One of these.
Yeah, this one is all you made by the roof. You see that?
Oh, should we make it bigger?
I think we should make it bigger.
Yeah, we have like a.
Do you have any cases? We can make this bigger.
Yeah, you have it.
That should be the blind.
But if you have a next to each other,
He's one. I can't find the building.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Let's swap this.
And then we'll do it after that. Oh, okay.
Flat. String and then make like a sort of like plug on top of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be very difficult, but whatever. I guess you just run it.
just so people can start. I think it has to be like a big enough.
Yeah, everything else.
Yeah. Okay, so what about this space?
It's 48, bro.
So probably can like get in from this space here.
Because we don't have like a triangle shape.
Triangle, yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. And this is the lock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Open the lock here. Now you've got like enough space to put all the gold in. And this is strong enough for bombs. This has to be like a bomb proof. Yeah, I think you have to complete the roof there. Okay.
Had what, how, and why on it. So now look at having done the exercise. What did you notice in the way that it worked? How do you think it worked? What were the mechanics behind it? And that deeper question is, why do you think it works as well? So as a team, on your flip chart paper, just have a bit of a discussion for about 5-10 minutes about what did you notice from the exercise and how might you apply it to your project. So you're about 5-10 minutes.
What are the criteria of Google?
Retrospective, there's process feedback as well around the way that you did the work and what are the ways that you can improve it whilst the project is still running. Scrum's one of the most popular frameworks in the world at the moment, used by a range of different companies, including the likes of Spotify, Google, all your household names. Anybody want to work for Spotify, by the way? No? Okay, Mr. Opportunity. It's all good. So, last 3 things are, firstly, take a photo of the maps, show people at home what you do and what they're paying for. Continue the conversation about how would you like to apply some of the techniques, some of the ideas that you've learned here today to your project. And do we have the customer next week? So we have the customer next week? Yeah, so we've got a customer coming in next week, so prepare yourselves with a case study. You know, what are the questions that you want to ask the customer? So, did you learn something today? Did you have fun? Well done. That's your first agile project.